Hi guys, it's Emily from Novell Novels and welcome to today's video. This is my November TBR. Now, I've been a bit gentle on myself. Yes, I've got 18 books, but I have decided to cushion some of the harder ones with a lot of contemporaries, with quite a few contemporaries this month, and like middle grade and a YA, and just some different elements just to try and make it a little bit more gentle on myself. Victober, touchwood, I'm filming this on the 11th of October. I'm filming very far in advance. But Victober's going well, but I know that obviously with it being the dark gothic season, I have also got a lot of dark gothic books. So I need books that are going to be gentle to go alongside it. I have got one classic, I've got my reread, I've got all the elements that I normally put in. I'm still trying to decide what elements I'm going to do for next year for my TBR games sort of things that I do. But yeah, I don't want to make this video too long because I've spent all morning upstairs trying to sort out my wardrobe and I'd like to get some reading done. So let's do what we always like doing first and get the TBR jar done. So there's only 3 books on it and there's only 2 months. So whatever book doesn't get read, doesn't get picked for December, we'll go over because I am still keeping the TBR jar for next year because I like that. I'm finding it's really worked out. It's been a bit hit and miss. Already, you would have seen that The Lilac Girls was a very hit and miss. It was a good book, but very emotional. But let's see what I'm going to pick. Okay. I only find 2 slips in here, so I don't know. I might have to double check what other slip is. Oh, and I've got the appeal. Okay. I think I've only got 1 slip left in here, so I need to go and double check that. I might have to write another piece of paper in there because I don't know what else other one is in there, so I might have missed a bit. But there you go, I'm not complaining. It is what it is. I've got The Appeal by Janice Hallett. I've had this on my shelf for ages. It does work out perfectly because I don't actually have a mystery or a thriller, I don't think, for this month. It is flipping long. It's like 460 odd pages. But it's done in different format. I know it's done in a different sort of text format. It's got in emails and it's got a few different bits and bobs, which should make it shorter. 1 murder, 15 suspects. Can you uncover the truth? I've heard lots of great things by this, so I am super, super excited by it. So that's it. That's the TBR jar pick. A lot of people read this last year or the year before. I've got this and I've got a couple of other books by the author, so I want to read this and then see how I do with it. So now I've got 1 other book by the author, but yeah, I definitely want to see how I do with this. And I'm glad that one of the books didn't get picked for this month. So it's annoyed me. I don't know where one of my slips is. My TBR jar. I'm still going to count it. Well, it will be what it will be. I've got The Appeal. I'm super happy with that. So that one actually is, yeah, I'll leave that there so I know what one. Now for my buddy reads. Again, I've gone for quite dark. I've got 2 dark gothic-y books for, not dark gothic. I'll get on with it. One is a book that I'm super excited about. Obviously, we have start of November in the UK. We will be obviously having Remembrance Day of November. So this book is connected to that, and that is in Memorian by Alice Gwynne. This won an award. I think it's won the Waterstones Debut Novel Award. I'm buddy reading it with the lovely Angela from Reading Off My Shelf. This is literally got amazingly great reviews. It's set in 1914, when Moorfields are far away for Henry Gaunt, Sidney Elwood and the rest of their classmates safely absconded into their idyllic boarding school in the English countryside. Aged 17, they're too young to enlist, and anyway, Gaunt is busy fighting his own private battle, an all-consuming infatuation with his best friend, Elwood. Dreamy, polite, poetic Elwood, not having a clue that Elwood is in love with him too, and always has been. When Gaunt's German mother asked him to enlist in the British Army to protect the family from anti-German attacks, Gaunt immediately signs up, relieved to escape his overwhelming feelings for Elwood. But the front is horrific, and of course Gaunt tries to dissuade Elwood from following him to the battlefield, but he joins him and that. Apparently this book will break me, but my sister Charlie loved it. I think Charles Heathcote loved it, and a lot of other people have loved it, so cannot wait to read this. Then a book that I bought as an impulse buy at some point this year, purely because it's so stunning, and that is Waywood by Amelia Hart. I'm buddy reading this with the lovely Jem from Jem Books and my sister Charlie from Charlie Book Reads. It is witchy, it's gothic, it is stunning. I cannot believe how much... I've got like 4 hardbacks this month, so I might have to be careful with my hands, but this is stunning. If you don't know about Waywood, I've heard it from a lot of people. I think Charlotte from K Reads has read it. I think quite a few people have read this already. It's got 3 timelines. Kate in 2019. Kate flees from London, abandoning everything for Cumbria and Waywood Cottage, inherited by a great aunt, and it's been in the family since the 17th century. Then you've got the other timeline, which is set Violet in 1942, and she's more interested in collecting insects and climbing trees than becoming a proper young lady, until a chain of shocking events changes her life forever. And then you go right back in time to Altha in the 1619, and Altha is on trial for witchcraft, accused of killing a local man. Known for her uncanny connection with nature and animals, she is a threat that must be eliminated. But Waywood women belong to the wild, and they cannot be tamed. Cannot flipping wait for this. Then, lastly on the buddy reads, I've got The Wakeup Call by Beth O'Leary. I think I'm buddy reading with this down. She hasn't got back to me, but I'm going to put her down. And this is my signed copy. I bought this, and I'm reading it within about a month of buying it, because it is just... It's Beth O'Leary. I love her books. It's about... I think it's the fake... I'll remember the trope in a minute. And it's the one where the fake dating trope, yeah. So obviously Izzy and Lucas are sworn enemies, and it's the busiest time in the year in a hotel. The hotel won't stay afloat without some sort of miracle, but when Izzy returns a guest's lost wedding ring, a reward convinces the management that this might fix everything. With 4 rings still sitting in lost property, the race is on for Izzy and Lucas to save their beloved hotel. It's Beth O'Leary. I've loved every one of her books. And I've got a signed edition. I said I wouldn't do signed editions. I said I wouldn't pay more for them. But I did. And I don't care. I can't wait for this. Then for my reread of the month. And this is The Binding by Bridget Collins. This is my brand new copy that my sister bought me years ago for Christmas. Because I read her copy and thoroughly loved it. It was one of my favourites of the year. But I didn't like the next book by the author, The Betrayals. And I've heard negative things about the author, so I'm slightly concerned about that, but I know I thoroughly loved this the first time I read it. So will I love it again? This book is absolutely stunning. It was all over BookTube a few years ago, about 3 or 4 years ago now, I think. And it's imagine you could erase your grief, imagine you could forget your pain, imagine you could hide a secret forever. Emmett Farmer is working in the fields when a letter arrives summoning him to begin an apprenticeship. He will work for a bookbinder, a vocation that arouses fear, superstition and prejudice. But neither of his parents can afford to refuse it. It amazed me when I read it the first time. Will it amaze me the second time? I don't know. Then I've got my booktuber's favourite author. I'm going with Nikki from Red Dot Reads. She has spoken about this author a lot, Kate Quinn. And she's spoken about this book a lot. And again, this is set in wartime, I believe. And this is The Rose Code, and it is set firstly in 1940 in Bletchley Park in Buckinghamshire. In wartime England, 3 very different women, aristocratic debutante Osla, London Mab, and the shy local girl Beth are recruited for Bletchley Park, where the best minds in Britain train to break Germany's military codes. And then 7 years on, they're in London, and it's the eve of the wedding between Princess Elizabeth and Prince Philip. And each one of them is facing a terrible fate, yet their friendship being torn apart by secrets. Oh yeah. Can they reunite a terrifying race against the clock and crack the final code before it's too late for them and for the country? Cannot wait for this. It's one I'm super excited about. Then again, one because it's the wartime element, I've got The Brothers of Alit, which is a non-fiction book for the month. It's my brother's tears are left a delicate, clean line on his face. I stroked his cheek and whispered, "Is it really you?" Dov and Yixa live in a small village around Hungary, and then everything changes, and I think they're taken to Auschwitz. 6 decades later, from the safety of their living rooms at homes in Israel, the brothers finally break their silence to a friend who's never let their stories be given, and it's about the Holocaust and Auschwitz. It will break me, but I want to read it because, again, I just feel it's important to read at this time of year, so I will read it then. Then on a completely opposite side of the coin, it's hilarious. It's going to be a book that's going to make me laugh, and that is Romancing Mr Bridgeton by Julia Quinn. I know the TV series has got this romance happening. The new series is starting in December. So I'm going to give it spoilers. I'm going to read the book. We all know they get together, these two. We all know what happens. They've given away too many spoilers in the clips and the preview clips. But it's Mr Bridgeton. It's the Bridgeton series. It's saucy. It's romance. I want to see if this book how this book's going to compare to the TV series. I can't flip and wait. It's the light read that I know I need. And I love the way that this character is portrayed in this. This is about Penelope Threadington. And it's the friends to lovers trope. And everyone knows that Colin Bridgeton is the most charming man in London. And we all know what happens with these two. We all can predict it. But I still can't wait for it. So I'm going to read that. Then a book that I thought was actually non-fiction, but it turns out it's short stories. And this is The Shadow of the Queen by Alison Weir. It's Tales from the Tudor Court, and it's loads of short stories about different women that were in the Tudor Court. And there's 13 tales from the heart of the London court. So I'm going to try and read it over the course of the month, like random different times. But am I going to like short stories? I do love Alison Weir's writing. I do love the Tudor Court. I've saved this till after I've recovered from the Tudor along, and I think this will be good. It's shorter stories, but it's about different women in the Tudor Court, which obviously I'm pro-feminist and stuff. So yeah, let's see what this is like. I'm really, really looking forward to this. Then to my only classic, but again this looks very dark, and this is The House of Mirth by Edith Wharton. It was on my list of classics for the year. I know that I have not read all of the classics on my list. I didn't read Daniel Deronda. I'm not really fancying it. My classics was a bit of a shit time this year. But I want to give this a go because I think Jack liked it. And I know some of the other booktubers have liked this book by Edith Wharton. I did love one of the books and I didn't love another one. So I'm wondering how I'm going to feel about it. It's about the beautiful Lily Bart who lives among the nouveau riches in New York City. The people where millions were made by railroads, shipping, land speculation. Lily, aged 29, seeks a husband to satisfy her cravings for admiration and trappings of wealth, but it comes at a cost. And yeah, it's a black comedy about vast wealth and a woman who can define herself only through the perception of others. Dark comedy, like the sound of this. Sounds good. Let's give it a go. Then a book that again was my dark gothic-y kind of fancied for the season, but look at the sprayed edges on it. It's stunning. And this is The Lamplighter by Emma Stonix. This has had mixed reviews over BookTube, but it's set in Cornwall in 1972. 3 keepers vanished from their remote lighthouse miles from the shore. The entrance door is locked from the inside. The clocks have stopped. The table is set a meal left uneaten. What happens to those three men on the tower? Can their secrets be recovered by the waves? Dark, gothic-y, mystery, historically fiction-y. It's got the present timeline set 20 years later. Still historical fiction, and it's stunning. Hope I like it. Then to a fantasy that I've had on my shelves ages, and it's one that a lot of people have loved. You know I'm really into my Greek fantasies. This is Ariadne by Jennifer Saint. She's got a lot of books out, and I know that Charlotte from Coney Reeds has loved her work, and I know that Olivia's liked her work. And this is about setting as the Princess of Crete and the daughters of King Minos, Ariadne and Phaedra grow up hearing the terrible bellows of the Minotaur from the labyrinth. The Minotaur, Minos' greatest shame, and Ariadne's brother, demands blood every year. When Theseus, Prince of Athens, arrives in Crete as a sacrifice to the beast, Ariadne falls in love with him, but helping Theseus defeat the monster must mean betraying her family. And Ariadne knows that in a rule world by mercurial gods, drawing their attention can cost you everything. I think Jem from Gemma Books loved this. It's beautiful. I cannot wait for it. It's just what I need. Then again, very different. I've gone for a middle grade book that I bought. I love The Lost Bear by Hannah Gold, and I'm going to read The Lost Whale. This is a middle grade book, and it's got pictures in it. Look, stunning pictures. I bought this when we went to Katie's book launch, and it looks just what I need. It's middle grade. It's about animal conservation. It looks stunning, and Rio has been sent to live with her grandmother a grandmother he barely knows in California while his mum is in hospital. All Rio knows is wants his mum to get better so he can return home. But everything changes when he joins a whale watching trip and meets Whitebeak, a gentle giant of the sea. Rio forms an instant bond with a whale, and for the first time in years, he feels there's a spark of hope. Then Whitebeak goes missing, and Rio may be the only person to help. Just what I need. Then to one of my contemporaries. This is the last time we met by Emily Horton. The author's name is Emily. What more do I want? One promise, 2 decades. Can they keep their word? It's a romance. It's set one promise. They're aged 13. Best friends Eleanor and Finn are inseparable. Convinced it will always be this way, they make a pact to go to university together, to always live near each other. And when they're both single, if they're both single at 35, they'll get married. 2 decades later, Eleanor and Finn haven't spoken in 15 years. Life has run away from them, and they are both far from where they dreamed of being all those years ago. But can they still keep their word? It takes us tragic circumstances for Finn to come back to Eleanor's life. Just what I need, contemporary. And then a book that Danny from Danny's Book World bought me for Christmas, I think. This is a little bit of a romancy wedding thing. I don't do wedding ones because I'm not married, but the one that got away before I do by Sophie Cousins. I've loved Sophie Cousins' other romances. This is Head in the Stars. Audrey is about to marry down-to-earth Josh. Despite the differences, steady, dependable Josh has always been exactly what Audrey needs. But romance should be full of fireworks. And as the big day approaches, Audrey's found herself wondering if Josh is the one. So when Josh's sisters arrived at the rehearsal dinner with Fred, Audrey's what if, the guy that got away, Audrey can't help but see it as a sign. I'm just cheesy contemporary, just what I need. Then to one that's stunning, one I bought again recently, but I decided I've got loads of Lex Croucher's books. Gwen and Art Are Not in Love. It's my stunning edition. I can't flipping wait for this. This is medieval, YA, LGBTQI romance. I've spoken about this a million times. My sister from Charlie But Reads has read this and loved it, enjoyed it. This is about, obviously, they both fancy people that they shouldn't fancy from the same sex. It's romance. It's like fake dating. It's just all pretense, and it's just what I need. I really need this. I don't need to say any more than that. Then to the last romance. This is The Key to My Heart by Leah Lewis. I've loved her books. They're again romances. It's blue. It's pretty. It's the key to my heart. It's got music in it. I don't know. Can you ever move on from the love of your life? Some people spend their whole lives trying to find the one, but Natalie has found him and married him. Then Russ died. 2 years later, her whole world is shattered. Oh shit. Still, she feels like she's trying to piece her broken heart together one day at a time. And then she finds a sheet of music, one that only Russ would know about, a piano stall in St Pancras Station, where she's been playing for the last month. For the first time, Nadia realises that life does hold magic, and with every note she plays, she feels as if she's unlocking another fragment from her heart. Oh my God, this does look good. And then lastly, because this book is very heavy and I had to have it at the bottom, this is Remote Sympathy by Catherine Chidley. It looks dark, it looks depressing. My sister Charlie gave it to me in December last year. I've got no idea about this book, but I thought it looked dark. And I think it's like wartime book. The spiel on this is very long. It's about a novel of devastating beauty that will leave readers shaken and exhilarated. And moving away from their lovely apartment in Munich isn't nearly as wrenching as the experience that for Frau Hette-Hahn has feared. The latest home is even lovelier than the one they left behind. It's right on the doorstep from the finest craftsmen all over Europe. And then Frau Hahn and the other officers' wives living in this small community can order everything they desire. It's set in Buchenwald. I think it's wartime because it's got about her husband's SS Dorf. Oh, I can't say the bloody word. But I've got a funny feeling it's about like war camps and stuff. It's set in Buchenwald. I've got no idea. It's dark. It looks depressing. I'm going to give it a go. See how I feel with it. Who knows? But I've got a real mix of books. I've got some dark, like wartimey, autumny, sad books, and then I've got some happy contemporaries, middle grade, YA, all the mix. I've got a bit of a mixed bag, which is what I need. Are there any of these books that you think I should prioritise? I think that because I've got a mixed bag, I'm trying to think. I always need to start planning my emojis that I'm going to talk about. But because I feel like it's part of wartime, can you give me a wartime emoji in the background? Because obviously we are celebrating Remembrance Day coming up in November. So put a wartime emoji in the comments down below if you've got to the end of this video. What books do these try prioritise? Which books do you want to know more about? Let me know down below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, not subscribed yet, bring on my ding-a-ling. And I'll see you all soon. Bye-bye.